Hey guys, today I'm reacting to YouTube videos.
So
But
Brianna's gonna be in and out. She's gonna be in 2 YouTube videos.
yeah, she's interrupting me too. Thank you so much, Bree.
Brie, go get your pen. I'm gonna do a music. I'm gonna do a music video. You know what I'm doing.
Okay, I'm trying to find out what.
I'll do it.
Oh,
Sorry. Go get
okay. We're reacting to Papa Moses.
in here.
Well, no, never mind. I'll tell you. We're reacting to LD Shadow the Lady Draw My Life.
Yes. Are you
Man,
How
shush.
else get down there? Are you on screen recording?
Yeah, shush.
I'll let you be on my screen recording. What you mean?
Okay.
Hey guys, what's up? LD Charlotte here. I don't really talk about my life much in my videos, but after reaching 1 million subscribers, the support from you all was overwhelming and it finally gave me the confidence to share my story. So I put together a collection of significant moments from my life that I think have made me into the person I am today and created a Draw My Life video. Once again, thank you for all the support throughout the past few years of my life, and I hope you enjoy this video. So it all started with 2 human beings, my mum and my dad. My dad was a doctor and my mum was a nurse, and they fell in love. They got married, and a few years later, my mum thought she had the flu because she was feeling really ill, but it turns out she was actually pregnant with me, and they gave birth to a little baby girl, and they called her Elizabeth, and they actually nicknamed me Beth.
Man, please.
Chocolate. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
And that's still a name that my family uses for me, even though now most people know me as Lizzie. They also decided to have another little baby, and when that came into the world, it turned out to be a girl, and it was my little sister, Maddie. Maddie is just over a year younger than me, so we've always been pretty close in age, and therefore we were quite close growing up, and we were really good friends, and we always did stuff together. Between being born and until the age of about 8 or 9, I don't really remember much, but we did get a cat somewhere along the way. So like most people, I went to school, and in the UK, the first school that you go to is called primary school, and you go there until you're about 11 years old. I didn't really like school much, so I used to pretend to be ill a lot of the time, and sometimes people would actually believe me, and I would get to stay home and stay in bed and watch TV all day. I made some really great friends when I was younger, called Emma, Sophie, and Jade was really, really tall. And of course, I hung out a lot with my sister Maddie as well, and we were all one big group of friends. And we always had sleepovers, but instead of pillow fights and talking about boys, we used to play video games and make movies together. And I still have some of them on videotapes now, and they're really embarrassing. So growing up, I always knew that my mum was a little bit weird. She was always really eccentric, and her behavior was a little bit unusual, but that was something that I loved about her. However, my parents used to argue a lot. They would be shouting and crying and screaming.
Same about my
and this happened a couple of times a week and really late into the night, so it would keep my sister and I awake all through the night on school nights. Sometimes my mum even threatened to run away from home, and that would always really scare us because we thought it was true. At the time, we were too young to really understand, and we didn't know what it meant. But the reason for her behavior was because she was an alcoholic. But I didn't really know what it was like to have a mum that wasn't an alcoholic, so it was kind of just normal to me, and I thought everyone had a family that was like this. So life went on. So when I was about 11, I took an exam called the 11+, and that tested whether I was smart enough to go to a grammar school. And at first I really didn't actually want to go to the grammar school because none of my friends from primary school were going, and they had a really dorky uniform compared to all the other schools. But looking back, I'm really glad that my dad encouraged me to go there because I got really good grades, and it was a really nice school. There wasn't a lot of bullying, even though I was kind of a late bloomer and I always considered myself to be ugly in school. I was never bullied for it. Throughout my years in school, I was always really shy, and I would hardly ever bring friends home because my house was such a mess. There would be plates piled up in the kitchen and mess all over the floor, and it was really, really disgusting. So my mum would just usually drink a lot throughout the day and then sleep, so most of the time she was always asleep. And my dad was always at work, So my sister and I were just kind of left alone to do whatever we wanted to do, but we were also kind of sensible about it, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so independent, is because I always have been. But since there wasn't much to do and my life kind of sucked, I used to escape from reality by playing video games and going on the internet. Back then, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty 2, The Sims, Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I used to play on a website called Gaia Online, where you create a character and you earn money and you post on forums, and I just loved being part of the online community. So about halfway through high school, my dad moved out from our family home into a small home on his own, shortly followed by my sister, who moved in with him, which left me alone with my mum. I didn't mind because I wanted to stay home and look after my mum, because she wasn't really able to look after herself anymore. She didn't cook and clean up after herself, so I had to do that for her, and she would have a lot of accidents because of her drinking. She would often fall over a lot at home, and sometimes she would go out in public and she would hurt herself there, and quite a few times she had to have an ambulance called for her because she hurt herself quite badly. So that was always really scary, and I got a bit of paranoia about her leaving the house all the time. I always thought that she would hurt herself and not come back. I finished high school when I completed my GCSEs, and I did pretty well. I got some A stars, A's and B's, which was pretty good considering that I spent most of my revision time playing Call of Duty 4. But I decided to go to a new college where I didn't really know anyone, and it turned out to be great. I made a load of new friends, and it was a completely different world from the grammar school that I'd been to. During this time, I kind of came out of my shell and I became a little more confident because I got braces, which sorted out my teeth, which I was really self-conscious about, and I found my style, how I wanted to dress and how I wanted to style my hair. My new friends were really into partying, so I actually went through a party phase, and I used to go out almost every week with my friends to a house party, but after a while I got a little bit bored of all the partying, and I settled back down into playing games on my Friday and Saturday nights instead. I also decided to get a job at Toys R Us. My dad told me that I didn't need to get a job because he was a doctor, so he could give me money instead, but I just wanted to get one anyway because I wanted to earn my own money and get some work experience, and I enjoyed it. So I'm glad I did it. Meanwhile, at home, my mum would have good days and bad days. She started falling over and hurting herself more often, but she ended up trying to get help and going to rehab a couple of times, which always got my hopes up that she might stop drinking. But it was also really bad for her because she would have withdrawal seizures, which meant that she would have an epileptic seizure because she was suffering from withdrawal symptoms from the lack of alcohol, and they were equally as scary as her falling over drunk and getting hurt. And I think they scared her too because then she would just start drinking again. Now you might have noticed that I haven't really mentioned romance at all up until this point, and that is because I did not really like the idea of a relationship. There were a couple of guys I liked in college, but the idea...
I'm going to do part 2 tomorrow, guys, because somebody keeps on interrupting.
Oh, there's like a lot of people in here that keeps on interrupting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye.